All right, here, ready. Ready to go?
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, we are about to embark on a new season of The Morning After. Very excited to be here on the floor at the Circa Sportsbook. And look at this cool wide shot I've got. I mean, we've got the whole sportsbook canvassed. This is what it looks like when it's kind of a slow day. But we're excited for a new season, and I have a special guest and a special announcement to share here on The Morning After as I welcome in the new partner of the show from footballcontest.com, Matty Simo. What's up, Matty?
Simo, please.
Oh, we're off to a rip-roaring start.
Hey, you know what? About 90% of people pronounce it wrong, so you're not the first. People
We can call you
also
Matty
me
from
Marty.
now on.
They
Call
also
you Marty.
Yeah,
I didn't get that part
that's
wrong.
That's famous in email for autocorrects. So
That's great.
Marty. So it's all good. I was at my daughter's open house for school on Wednesday, and you had to introduce your family, and that's the first thing I said is that. Common Simo, and then please just use Simo. So it's all good.
Matty Simo.
Let's get that out of the way.
We listen, we get the obstacles out of the way first because it's all smooth sailing from here. All right, let's explain why because for those familiar with the podcast, for those familiar with my work, I've been in my home studio since October doing this show. And obviously very football heavy, obviously very gambling focused to an extent. But we're switching gears a little bit because we are seeing an opportunity, and you reached out to me a couple months ago. You saw an opportunity to create some content around the contests themselves.
Yep.
And obviously that's why we're here at Circa, Survivor, Millions. It is becoming a really big thing. So our focus this year, and that's why you are becoming a partner of the show, is to promote what is, I think, one of the coolest growing parts of the gambling space, and that's the football contest.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking up at the board right now, and you're almost at 7,000 survivors. By the time people watch this, it'll probably be closer to 8,000. So it's just growing like crazy. I mean, Jeff Benson had told me, he's the director of operations here in the sportsbook, that the survivor entries were like 60% higher than last year, which is ridiculous when you think about it, because Derek Stevens, who runs Circa, he upped the ante to $20 million guaranteed, and
Wow.
They had almost 19,000 entries last year. So to hit 20,000 just seems like a no-brainer at this point, considering we're almost a third of the way there. And I would say, like, you still have 80% of the entries are going to come in the last 3 weeks, and we're not even to that point yet. So
Contest sign-up weekend.
yeah, I believe the pace is over 26,000 right now.
Do you think, and again, like, to me, the coolest part of doing a podcast live at the actual sportsbook itself is getting the aura of the sportsbook.
Yeah.
This place, to me, has become, I call it the Mecca. Like, it feels like it's becoming the hub of sports gambling in Vegas. This, in my opinion, sharpest odds makers here in town. And obviously the aesthetics to watch a game, as you could see as I show you the wide shot. I don't think that there's a better opportunity to create content around what I think is, again, one of the most growing, exciting parts of the gambling space. Because we all talk about betting games.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to bet on the Yankees money line -2, and I'm going to bet on, the Jets, whatever. But the contests offer a different, I would say, energy than any other version of gambling.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a way to measure yourself, right, against the best in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about the contest here, the Circa Million, you have to pick 5 games against the spread for 18 weeks, and the winner wins $1 million guaranteed, okay? And then the top 10 pay out 6 figures. So you're going against the best of the best, and this is, to be honest, it's the best way to measure yourself against anyone. So you got those guys talking shit on Twitter and social media and whatnot, and trying to say who's better than who. And this is the way to put your chips in and see how you measure up against everybody.
It's funny because I've been in Vegas now for 4 years, and I have been in the millions every year, and I view that, to me, as the litmus test. And a lot of people partner with other people, and that's fine. I get you want to have multiple entries and outs and all that stuff. I understand that. But every year I've made it a point to have an individual, my entry, in millions. Because I think it is the best way to measure yourself and to figure out if you're any good at this. Now, you can have a great year, you can have a bad year. It's not the end-all, be-all. But to do it every year and to be consistent with it, I think is important. Survivor, to me, is a lotto ticket. And I love we all love playing the lotto. But Millions really, I think, 5 against the spread every week. You're in it for the whole year. It's consistent. I think that is a really good measuring stick.
Right. I mean, hitting 70% in the NFL over the course of 18 weeks is remarkable, and
It's almost impossible.
That's what it takes to win the million. I mean, you can get hot for 4 or 5 weeks and put yourself in a position to win that quarterly $150,000 prize at Circa in the Circa Million. So you're playing for multiple prizes throughout the year. If you get off to a bad start, you can go for that booby prize, the $100,000 or
prize.
$25,000 every quarter. So it keeps you engaged the whole season. Where obviously Survivor, you get knocked out early, or I mean, you're done. You don't have any way to get back in unless you try to buy an entry through different means, and that's something too that we're offering our clients this year through PropSwap, is a marketplace option that is going to kind of take away that monopoly aspect where people only had one out for that. Now they're going to have multiple places that they could try to buy and sell their entries, and through PropSwap, it's only going to be a 5% commission that you're going to have to pay, which is really great. I mean, that's really the cost of doing business with when you talk about the contracts, the legal part of it, all that good stuff. And then from our perspective, kind of cool, but we're gonna pay up to $1,000 for if somebody sells their entry to someone else. We're gonna pay up to $1,000 for the actual person who owned the entry to fly out to Vegas to cash it and hand the money over to the person who bought it. So that's something that we're doing through PropSwap, and it's just kind of a new way to look at things and a new way to get an out if you want to buy or sell shares of your entry or are looking to buy someone else's.
I'm glad you mentioned that because that's a big part of what we're going to be doing every week. So obviously this podcast, it's called The Morning After, so it's very fitting. The branding makes sense. I would usually record something Sunday night, Monday morning, recapping the NFL's slate and spinning things forward. So the way that we're going to tweak things this year is we're going to record this podcast on Tuesday morning, live at Circa. It'll be live on YouTube. It'll be live on Twitter, and then of course we'll post it on all the other platforms later afterwards. But that is going to be, I think, the most exciting and important part of what we're doing every week, which is to get on the horn and to say, here's what happened, here's the carnage that took place, and here are the new, I don't even know what the word would be, maybe opportunities is a good word.
Yeah,
that's the word. Yes.
Yeah.
And that and because of the evolution of the contest, it's created a secondary market where now this can take place.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're talking about liquefying an asset that is an entry into a contest and turning it into money before the season's over. So there's a lot of people that, I think we had some clients last year after a couple weeks that, each entry is $1,000. If it gets up to $3,000 or $4,000, they're looking to unload it just to try to make a profit on it, which to me is a little early, obviously, but hey, it's their entry. If they can get that for it, great. And if we can help them out, which I believe we'll have a better chance to do that this year through PropSwap. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where those entries are worth a lot of money during the season, and maybe you just want to get out and make a nice profit before someone else gets knocked out, or before you have the chance, or before those double weeks come, like around Thanksgiving time. Yeah, I mean, it just gives yourself an out, and I think that's what we want to try to provide people is a way to monetize their entry throughout the season.
And that again is where I think I've seen a lot more content around the contest lately, but having a weekly show that is centered around it specifically, originating from the place where the contests originate from, partnering with someone who has the access and the ability to get your entry out into the marketplace and publicize it, and then for us to talk about hey, is this good value? Is this not good value? And then to have those conversations, to have other sports bettors, to have people from Circa. We're gonna have Derek Stevens on at some point. I'm sure we'll have Benson on. We'll have all the the big wigs, the head honchos at Circa to talk about how the contest is going. We want this partnership to be kind of your hub for the weekly check-in of what's going on, because you're seeing other companies create contests that are being very, I would say, publicized and being talked about a lot. And I think that, in my opinion, rising tide lifts all boats. The more people that are talking about Survivor, that are talking about weekly and yearly football contests, the better it is for the overall brand.
No, 100%. I mean, Yeah, and we don't have to go into specifics
No, we
with
don't.
that, but yeah, I mean the thing is, people love contests, period, and they're only going to do more contests. It's not going to be picking one or the other. If somebody's in a survivor pool, they're going to put entries in all of them rather than only picking one or the other, like I said. And same with the millions. The millions is, I mean, you know, the super contest and the Westgate have gone through some changes. That used to be kind of the granddaddy of the football contest until Derek stepped up and guaranteed prize pools, which completely changed the landscape of everything. So just the fact that you know there's some competition out there, again, like it doesn't really matter. It's people who love contests will max out everything or put in what they want and dip their toes in everything and have action everywhere.
Well, the thing is gambling, and this is coming from someone who has been gambling since I was 16 on sports. The gambling space has evolved considerably, even in the last few years that I've moved to Vegas and that I've really started doing the media side of it. But there is still a very harsh barrier for entry for the average football fan who doesn't quite know the odds and the ups and downs of the market. Whereas the contest is simple. It's pick these 5 teams. The lines are the
Against
same.
static lines,
Yeah, and the survivors just pick a winner, and
Right,
people
right.
it resonates with people differently than the spread being 6.5, and you might get it at 7. Like that to me allows a much wider audience of people, and it invites people in that you might not get, if they don't want to bet on a side or total.
Right. It's not about getting the bet down at the right time because that's a bet. This is you're all competing against the same numbers, and that's why it's a contest and not like a betting competition, if you will.
Yeah.
So that's why, as a proxy, that's why we're able to do what we do because you know the proxies allow people from around the world to participate in these contests because you do need to be within Nevada to submit your picks every week. And if you can't do it yourself, you need somebody to do it for you. So that's, we've been doing this for 21 years now, I think. Tony Law, my partner, and I. And we believe we do it better than anyone. And we've grown this business with the contests, and we've helped promote the contests and market them and helped get them to where they are because I mean, let's be honest, like outside of Derek Stevens pouring a lot of money into his marketing, it's our job to get the information out there to educate people what are the different contests out here in Vegas to participate in, the differences, the advantages of certain ones. And when it comes down to it, I mean, Circa just having the guaranteed prize pool, like I said earlier, it's a game changer because it's the money is going to be there no matter what, and then it's about the race to see how many entries there's going to be, and then every year he just keeps upping the ante. So I mean, I thought $30 million for all of the contests and guaranteed prize money was a little conservative this year. I think he could have gone like probably 35, 40 and had no problem hitting that. I think within a couple of years you're going to see 50 million as
Absolutely.
guaranteed between all the contests. And I mean, it keeps growing and growing and growing, and the more that people want to compete and get into the best contest in the world, I mean, this is it. Circa's the place to be.
Where do you see, I guess, the future of it going? Because you've seen, again, the evolution of it from the past, but I think the contests, in my opinion, have a chance for more staying power than traditional gambling, in my opinion. And I think that will make it's almost like a virus, for pun intended. Like it just keeps spreading, and it's contagious because people love the number and they want to see the number keep going up and up and up.
Yeah.
And I agree, it's going to keep going up because that's just the natural order of things. Mm-hmm. But I think there's an opportunity to really capture the hearts and minds of the average football fan and really suck them into the gaming world, because again, it can be tough sometimes with betting, and there's a lot of pitfalls with it. But the contest, people, it's just a flat number, I pay this and then I'm done for the year, and then I try. So I think the barrier for entry, I think, is a lot lower. But where do you see the next 5 to 10 years of this going? Like, do you see contests at some point overtaking the traditional side total market in terms of handle every year?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think it's going to get to that point, but I mean, it's just kind of the competition aspect of it, and that it's out there publicly. So when you are making your picks every week, it's going to be public knowledge through social media. Be able to find out what everyone's on and see where that goes. Some people like to keep their aliases like private
A lot of people
until
get their
until
aliases private.
until they cash the big check at the
Yeah,
end,
right.
and you see who's behind the scenes on it. But yeah, I mean, the Survivor like reality show that they've been doing, I'd kind of like to see that from the Millions perspective too, because I think there's a lot of great storylines with the pick five. Like, how do these guys come up with their picks every week? Because you're not talking about one team and sweating the one team. I mean,
we're gonna have James on the show at some point. I think we should have James on the show at some point. I think that's a good idea. He's the one who produces the show every week.
Yeah, no, it'd be good to know if that's been talked about, just because that's an equally intriguing like contest, and it's like you had talked about. It's really more difficult as far as like handicapping, because you're worried about the spreads every week, and you're picking 5 games, and yeah, I mean, it's a race to win $1 million, and I mean, that's the crazy thing, is maybe there's a higher stakes like
so the Grandissimo
million contest at some point
is the big boy 100K
right, 100,000
entry.
entry Survivor contest. You're looking at 17 up there right on the board. They need to hit 40 to break even. Last year they had 69 entries, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, they're gonna break 40.
Yeah, but the million has been the one that's been held back, kind of, as far as people getting in on it. Like, I think we're going on 5 years where it hasn't cracked 6,000.
Interesting.
And Derek has set the guarantee at 6 million every year.
It's an overlay every year.
Yeah, there's been an overlay every year for I believe the last 5 years, and I think that kind of speaks to how difficult that contest is, because they bumped it from the max of 5 entries to 10 entries this year, and I think they're finally going to get over that 6,000 because of that move. But if you think about how hard it is to have 5 entries and slice and dice the picks, and a lot of the guys that we have end up putting the same picks,
a lot of mental gymnastics
for all 5 entries every week until they get to a certain point, and they might vary it up down the stretch. But then you're talking about jumping that to 10 entries, and it's crazy, because I mean, it's difficult to come up with 5 picks that you like every week.
Amen to that.
For 18 weeks.
Yeah.
But then you're talking about doing that 10 times, and it's like,
forget it.
It's almost like
you have to have a lot of cross-pollination.
Yeah, you do, and you want to vary some things up a little bit, because I mean, you want those 5-0s, like the 4-1s and 5-0s are what it takes to win that contest
every single week.
Yeah, and that it is a much different animal than the Survivor contest. So, I mean, I think there's a time where that one kind of grows, or maybe the guarantee goes up on that. Maybe it's, or there's another contest where it's maybe guaranteed $10 million to the winner. I don't know. I don't know what Derek's got up his sleeves the next few years.
We'll have to ask him. So again, that's to get back to the project that we're working on here. The goal is to give you, the audience, as much information as possible about what's happening in the contest, the opportunities in terms of buying and selling your entries, and then, of course, some entertainment as well. And that's why we're going to bring on some, I would say, colorful personalities at some point during the course of the season. We don't have a specific schedule yet, but Derek's on the list. So obviously all of the people, the head honchos here at Circa who want to come on and share their stories. What else? Because, I mean, hey, we're just having a conversation here. What else would you like to see this podcast do throughout the course of the season? We have 18 shows. The first one will be Tuesday, the week after week 1, and then we're just going to let it rip.
Yeah, I mean, something that a lot of people like to talk about or ask me about is the consensus picks too, and you see those unveiled every Saturday night when Circa does their show here, and you see those top 5, and you wonder, are those automatic fades? And I think that's part of like revisiting in a morning after type format, is just like, how do those picks do this week? Because
and how they done for the whole season.
Yeah, and for the whole season, because I think a lot of people consider it like an automatic fade, and you look at those picks and you're like, oh shit, I got 3 or 4 of those on my
They're usually pretty obvious which are the ones.
Yeah.
Like for Survivor, you can guess what's going to be the consensus.
It's the old fade the public, hey, I don't want to be on those picks because those are going to go down. But that's not necessarily the case. No. They run hot and cold just like anyone else. So I mean, that's something where I think you could say, hey, the consensus went 5-0 last week. Maybe the public's onto something, because you see the betting or the picking patterns match up with betting patterns and how the books are doing that week. And it varies from week to week. And there end up being runs, like 2 or 3 week runs, where the public does very well, and that matches up with the consensus top 5 picks. And then when they're struggling, I mean, you might have a month where you want to fade them, and they end up going like 4-21 over a 5-week period or something like that. But over the course of the season, it's going to be pretty close to 500. It's just a matter of kind of riding with the hot streaks and maybe fading the cold streaks. And I think if we can kind of pinpoint that and just kind of follow what the books are doing, like as a recap, I think maybe that'll help some people going into the following week and making their contest picks or their bets.
I think it will. I think giving people, I always say, like, teach a man to fish, like giving people the information, not necessarily telling them what to do, but just giving them the information empowers you to then make your own decision. And that is, I think, going to be paramount here on the show. Did you imagine this situation, this contest, this lifestyle, this career path taking off the way that you did when you started it 20 years ago?
Never. No, I mean, when Tony and I started, it was a part-time gig to make a little bit of extra money. And again, COVID kind of threw a monkey wrench in everything. I mean, it kind of killed the super contest in some ways, but then Derek embraced that period and guaranteed money, not knowing whether or not he was going to get the numbers to come in. And masks and all, people came in that year, and for a couple of years, really, 2020 and 2021. I mean, it wasn't easy to come in and put in these picks like during that time. It wasn't easy for people to travel from other countries, from across the country with health concerns and everything like that. But you know what? People figured out a way to do it, and then everything kind of took off after that, because they saw that there was a mass interest in doing it, even during hard times. And hopefully we never have anything like that again. But it kind of just showed that people love the contest no matter what. And I think use that as a springboard moving forward, where Derek just kept raising the ante, making those guarantees bigger, and getting to the point where he can have $100,000 survivor contest and per entry. And I mean, the entries doubled in the last few days. I think
I know why.
Almost tripled.
There's some gambling people in town this week.
Well, there
for
are for sure, but I mean,
and then there's contest weekend coming up in a couple weeks. We're recording this, first week of August.
All kinds of stuff. Yeah, that I mean, you're going to see these entries just take off. Yeah, I mean, I think as we're recording, the survivor entries went over 7,000.
Wow.
And 1,500 million entries. So I mean, while 6,000 might seem tough to hit at this point, it's going to go fly over. I mean, it might be 7,000 or 8,000 by the time, just in the million.
The urgency, and here's what I noticed too about gambling in general. People typically like to wait to the last minute because it's just people like to procrastinate.
Of course.
Because they want to hold on to the money for as long as possible.
Yep.
The sooner they come out to Vegas and drop that money on the table, the less time they'll have it in their pocket. So that's why it's smart that Derek does contest weekend the week before football season. And I'm assuming
it's actually 2 weeks. So
before the NFL, but for college football, the week before.
Yeah.
Because there's some college contests in town too that people like to sign up for.
We'll get this out in plenty of time where people will be able to watch and get even more excited about it and realize that they want to get in on it and don't want to miss out.
Well, I'm convinced that as bad as COVID was for certain things, what it did was it planted this seed of gambling excitement because people were in their homes and they were bored, and then eventually sports came back.
They're watching these games with no fans in the stands, and they have action on it, even though they might not want to throw money on it on a weekly basis. They're in a contest still competing against the best of the best, and that's a testament to how popular the contests are. I mean, that was such a key, I think, looking back on history, that's going to be one of those moments that, Circa really was put on the map, and their contests were put on the map, and it's been snowballing ever since.
It created a level of excitement that I don't think can be replicated by anything else because people were just so starved for excitement and entertainment, and
I know
sports delivers
we
it.
were betting on ping pong,
pong,
all kind of table tennis, whatever you want.
Everything.
Yeah, I was betting
on a lot of European soccer, KBO. Oh my God,
virtual NASCAR races.
Oh yeah, the
Madden
streams were a
all
big
that
one
stuff.
too.
So yeah, I mean, but the contests were there. I mean, they played football. They were not going to miss out on playing those NFL games. And
no shot.
And now you see like additional games being talked about, additional weeks, and it's just getting bigger. I mean, the NFL is absolutely king in the sports world and in the betting world, and that's never going to change.
My fiscal year starts in August. Like that's the way that I view my entire existence. Is I get to the end of July and I usually hit the reset button on everything. And August is the start of my fiscal year.
You and a lot of others.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. But it's just so funny because as a society, as a culture, football in this country is definitely the conversation starter.
Yeah,
it's the icebreaker. And so that's why we've seen so much good quality content being produced around the gambling side of it. But this isn't going to be a gambling show. This is going to be a show that recaps what happens and then allows the viewer and the audience to, I guess, get sucked in to the contest. We're not going to be giving out picks. I'm not going to be giving out my best bet for Monday Night Football. Like, that's not what this show is going to be. It wasn't last year. Now we have this specific focus where we can use the contest as kind of, through the lens. We're going to look at the NFL every week through the lens of the contest, and then they're going to allow some other conversations to start from there.
Yeah, totally. And see what you can learn on a week-to-week basis because, I mean, there's going to be, like I said, runs with the consensus. Like certain people are going to go on runs where you're just going to be amazed by how these guys are picking and not picking. Maybe they're doing there's some guys that are doing terrible, and you want to fade those guys or whatever. And I mean, there's just different ways to look at the contest and learn from like from a betting perspective from week to week. So that's what we're trying to kind of throw out there and help you monetize your entries throughout the season as well.
Yeah. That's the part that I think, because the contests have been around for a long time, so it's not like we're breaking new ground here with telling you who the consensus picks were. But the monetization and the marketplace around the contest, I think, has seen the most significant growth in the last, I'll call it, year or two.
Yeah.
And that is the opportunity, I think, that a podcast like this and a focus like this can actually provide value to the audience, because there's a chance at some point we will actually have someone on the show who is trying to sell one of their entries.
With PropSwap, I mean, I like to have like the deals of the week where going into the next week, we'll let people know what's available and that you'll always be able to find what entries are up for sale on PropSwap, and you can compare to put some bids in and see if you can get an entry. If you want to sell an entry, see if you can get the price you want. And
I'm going to be an auctioneer. I'm just going to be like, hey, now we got
a whatever works. But the good news is that it's not just a monopoly anymore. I think that's the key thing is you're not kind of stuck having to sell through one outlet. There's going to be multiple outs, and and we're going to make that happen. So. And we're going to talk about it every week.
Matty Simo, I'm going to get the name right, as we say
all
for the
good,
next
my
time.
Friend,
Footballcontest.com. Really excited to be back with you. All right, so the schedule over the next few weeks, I'm going to post this right when I get home. We're recording on August 7th. This will marinate for a couple weeks. And then football contest sign-up weekend, again, the last weekend in August, right?
Correct, yeah.
We're going to reconvene. We're going to do another interview. We're going to get some more interviews with some other, I'll call it, personalities in town. Yep, absolutely. And then we'll blast that out over the next 2 weeks, leading up to the football season. And in the first live episode of The Morning After, Season 2, Week 1 NFL will be Tuesday, September 15th. Time to be determined, but it'll be sometime in the morning, obviously. It's the morning after. And then we'll go live on all the channels, and I'll promote it on my platforms. Obviously, Matty will promote it on his as well.
Yep. And we'll get this thing rolling. If you're watching this right now and you want to get out to Vegas to sign up, go to footballcontest.com. And you can find out about all the contests that are available. And if you need us as a proxy, we're more than happy to do that. Again, we've been doing it for 20 plus years now, and we do offer the latest deadlines available as possible. Tongue twister here. But anyway, we'll hook you up. We'll make sure that we're here for you and get you signed up so you can participate and be part of the show during the season.
And as someone who consumes a lot of content online in the gambling space. Every single person I see post about Matty's service, it's positive. I've never heard a negative word. I'm sure there are, but I've never heard it. It's in the ether somewhere that we're not even going to mention. He is really the best in the business, and that's why when I saw an opportunity to grab onto him and to use him as something that can elevate this show, it felt like the alignment with what he's trying to do and what I'm trying to do is off the charts, and we are very excited to bring you some really cool and different, fresh perspectives on football and gambling and the contest as we move forward into the season. Great stuff, brother. We'll be talking soon.
Thanks, Jared. Appreciate it.